Guys, the property you are seeing on the screen, the house you are seeing on the screen here, is one of the properties in southeast of London, SE28. Now this property is going for £2,600 a month. £2,600 a month. And the reason why I'm talking about this particular property is because someone has called me this afternoon, wanting to find out whether it is an ideal thing for them to go into renting this particular property for 2,600, or they should just remain a little bit, spend a bit of time where they currently are, put a bit of money together so that they can go and buy their own property. You understand? You know, my candid advice to them is very, very simple. You know, my candid advice to them, very, 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 very simple. Don't forget that I said this property you are seeing on the screen is 2,600 per calendar month. 2,600 per calendar month. Now let's draw this analysis. Let's do this very simple calculation. Now, should they take this particular property for 2,600? All right. In 1 year, they would have paid £31,200 in 1 year. So going by 2,600 every month. So in 1 year, they would have ended up paying £31,200. £31,200 in 1 year, which is more than enough money to make a deposit for their own property if they are on 5%. Sometimes if you're on 10%, depending on the price of the property, you can use 30,000 or less for your own deposit, for the deposit of your own personal property. Let's put that one aside. Now, this couple, because a lot of people keep saying, oh, it's difficult to get a deposit, it's difficult to get a deposit. Listen, nothing is difficult in this life if you put your mind into it. Nothing is difficult if you are determined that you want to do this thing. It won't be difficult. Now, let's assume this couple, because both of them are working, let's assume they are able to save £500 every month, consistently, uninterrupted, untouched, £500 every month. Now, in a year, they would have saved £6,000. Listen carefully, guys. In a year, they would have saved £6,000 in 1 year. Now, in 5 years, they would have saved £30,000. £30,000. Now, sometimes you might think it's difficult to save £500. I understand. But if you cut down on your living, if you cut down on your expenses, £500 with you and your partner joined together, you can save £500 every month comfortably. Though depending on how much you're earning anyways, and depending on your own standard of living, level of living. But I believe that if you are working and you are earning nothing less than £2,000, or your husband is earning £2,500, £4,000 together, £4,500 together every month, you should be able to squeeze £500 every month. And in a year, you'll be having £6,000 in your pocket, uninterrupted, untouched. And in 5 years, you would have saved that £30,000. So if these people should live in this house, paying £2,600 every month, they would have assisted the owner of that property to pay £31,200 in 5 years. Sorry, in 1 year. They would have paid £31,200 on someone else's property in 1 year. See, this is my candid advice. And I've said it before and I'm saying it again. If you are eligible, if you think you are eligible, if you've been in the UK for 2 years or more, and you've been working for that 2 years uninterrupted, okay, and you've got proof to show for it, including you and your partner, you've been working consistently for that 2 years, all right, you can go for eligibility check and affordability check through a mortgage broker. And you'll be very surprised that there are plenty of lenders out there who are willing to borrow you some amount of money to buy your own personal property. This is quite simple. You might rent an apartment today and you live there for 7 years. A lot of people have lived in the UK in someone else's property for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. If you go and do the calculation of how much you have paid for that number of years, it's more than enough to drop a deposit for your own property. So my candid advice to these people is to remain, because where they currently are now, they are paying 1,700. Why do you want to leave that property now and go and pay 2,600? You've got 2 kids. They've got 2 kids. You understand? Husband, wife, and 2 children living in a 2-bed flat. Is that not enough? Why do you want to live here now and go to 3-bedroom house? What's the purpose? What's the purpose why they had to leave that 2-bedroom flat to go to a 3-bedroom house like this for £2,600? And in a year, they will have helped the owner of that property to pay £31,200. Whereas if they are managing themselves in that particular 2-bedroom flat and paying that 2,700 for the next 5 years, they would have saved enough money. I wish they knew before now. By now they will be singing a different song with the deposit in their pocket to go purchase their own property. So these are quite simple things, very, very simple. And this is the kind of advice I like to give to people. That is my own. I don't know if you have a contrary opinion to this. I don't know. I used to be like that. I used to think, okay, renting, I don't want to bother myself, go and put some amount of money down as deposit. No, because at the end of the day, that your property you purchase today, in the next couple of years, the price will not remain the same. It's just like I buy this item today and it appreciates. After a couple of years, he appreciates, because definitely the price that I buy it today is not the same amount of money I'm going to sell it. It will have gone up. And whatever difference that is in it when I'm going to sell it is coming to my pocket. It's as simple as that, guys. So my candid advice to these people is to remain in that apartment of 1,700. Think of how to put 500 pounds together every month, and in 5 years, even less, they will be able to put together what is called 31,000 or 30,000. They will be able to, and they can speak to family and friends here and there to gather a few money from them. Boom, they are done. Deposits. And at the end of the day, you discover that you're not even paying 2,600 in your own personal house, depending on the price of the house anyways. That's my candid advice. If you have a contrary opinion to this particular one, just leave it in the comment section. Thank you.